Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here back at the cottage again today. If you are someone who is interested in minimalism but not quite sure where to start, then this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to share 5 things that you can start doing today if you are a beginner minimalist. And we're going to get into that content right away because there is a lot to cover. But first, I just wanted to preface this video by saying that even though I have about 5 years living this more minimal and simple lifestyle, I still consider myself to be fairly new to this whole lifestyle. And I think it's a lifelong journey. And so again, I feel like I'm kind of still in the beginning stages myself. And so these are some ideas of things that I tried and that worked for me to get me jump started. If you're curious or interested in why I decided to become a minimalist, why I made that decision, I have a video that talks about that more in depth, and I will go ahead and link that. It was a pretty powerful turning point in my life, I would say, and if you are starting out on your journey, then you might look back on this moment as being a pretty powerful moment as well, because you are going to be starting a very exciting and life-changing journey today. The first thing that you can do today if you are a beginner minimalist is to start looking at all items as prized possessions and things that are long-term investments. And so this is going to do 2 things. Number 1 is going to help you when you're making decisions of purchases. If you see something at the store and you're trying to decide if you should take it home or not, if it's cheaply made, if it's not something that you are going to just cherish for a very long time, then it's going to cause you to probably say no to that item. That means there'll be less inventory coming into your home, which is very important. The second thing it's going to do is, as you're doing your decluttering process in your home, it's going to help you make those decisions. So if you have, let's say, an article of clothing and you're looking at it and thinking, has it worn well? Do I grab for this item? Is this something that I really love and want to keep? And it's going to be easier to say no and to discard those items if they are not prized possessions or long-term investments. And so this actually was something that kind of sparked pretty early on in my minimalism journey, and it happened with a pasta scooper. Basically, I was given this pasta scooper as a wedding gift, and it was basically from the time that I saw it, I did not like it. It was green, plastic, and the actual little slots for the pasta to drain out was a little smiley face. So it was super tacky, definitely not my style at all, but it was useful. And so I kept it around because I thought, well, it's a useful item. I do use it, so I'll keep it. But as I started out looking at things as either long-term investments or prized possessions, I quickly realized that this thing was always bothering me. Every time I went to use it, I was annoyed by it. And so it kind of gave me the ability then at that point to say, all right, I'm going to replace it because I do still need a pasta strainer, but I don't need this one. And so I got rid of it. I replaced it with a stainless steel, much more durable, and I love it. Every time I use it, I am happy to use it. And that's how you need to start looking at all of your things. Next up, you're going to need to learn to say no. And this isn't just for, again, items coming into your house and not necessarily dealing completely with the physical clutter that you have to work with. It's about everything. It covers everything. I firmly believe that minimalism is so much more than just stuff. It's also about simplifying really your entire life and really finding joy in everything. The moments that you spend doing things, the items that you surround yourself with, the people that you associate with, it's all encompassing. And so being able to say no to somebody that asks you to volunteer on a committee that you're not interested in, saying no to, taking on a project or a job that you are not passionate about, you need to learn to say no. And again, this will also relate to being able to say no to items that, let's say somebody wants to gift you an item. Maybe you got some things for Christmas that weren't really your taste. You didn't ask for them. They were just kind of random gifts that you're not excited about. It's okay to say no to those items. You are in control of what comes into your house as well. So learn to say no very early on in your minimalism journey. The next minimalism exercise for beginners is to learn to use containers as a tool. And this is a 3-part idea. Containers can be used in many different ways. The first is if you know that you are overwhelmed by the amount of things that you have in your home, but you're not quite ready to fully let go of them. Let's say that you have some items that you use on occasion and you're worried that if you donate them or throw them out, you might end up missing them. And so the first idea to use the containers is to start a time will tell bin. And Dawn from the Minimal Mom talks about this a lot. Basically, you put those items that you're unsure about if you are ready to donate them, and you put them in a container, close it up, and put it away for a period of time, maybe up to a month. And then if you go back to that bin and you can't remember what's in it, then that's your answer. You are able to let those things go. We did this when we moved to this house with a lot of our kids' things. We put them in bins. I did a video about it. I asked the kids before I even opened them, do you remember what's even in these bins? And they really did not remember. And so I did let them go through them because there were some special things in them, but basically it does help you weed it out. If you didn't think about these items for a month's time, then likelihood is you do not actually need them. The second way that you can use containers is by setting a boundary for your items. And so if you have, let's say, it doesn't have to be a container, it can be a shelf. Maybe you say all of my books need to fit on this shelf. It can be a drawer. All of my craft supplies need to fit in this drawer, for example. It just kind of gives you a boundary and a limit on how much that you can keep. And keep it realistic. Make sure that the items that you do need can fit within that container, but it's very useful in keeping that kind of mindset. And the third way to use containers is by organizing. And I have found, this has kind of come a little bit later in my journey, but I've found how useful it is to even divide larger containers into smaller containers. And so I did this a lot when I reorganized my kitchen. I made little smaller containers within my drawers, and also in our mudroom when I organized the mudroom. And it's just so amazing to have just maybe one little area. This is where the scissors go, this is where the tape measure goes, and it stays organized. And so using the containers for organization will also be very helpful for you. My fourth tip for beginner minimalists is to try some different decluttering games. And this can make the process really fun, just to try some different things, how to get rid of some things basically in your house if you're feeling overwhelmed by your clutter. And a lot of us know that we have too much stuff, but we just aren't sure where to start. And so this will help you kind of get the ball rolling, I guess. I've tried a few different games here on this channel. One of them was the 7x7 game. And all I did was I took 7 minutes, 7 days a week, and after that week I had decluttered a ton of items. Another game that I've played is the Minimalism game, and this was actually a month-long declutter, and that ended up decluttering over 500 items. This is something that the minimalists that they developed, and I have details about that in the video that I did about that game. And another game that I did was a speed declutter, where you set a timer for maybe 30 minutes, maybe even less than that, and you just go around with a laundry basket or a box and you just fill it with things that you are certain you do not need. And this is just a fun way to kind of do some decluttering without being too stressed out about making a space look perfect. So try out the decluttering games at the beginning of your minimalism journey. And the last idea I have for you, if you are just starting out with minimalism, is to create one clutter-free area or zone. And it can be pretty overwhelming to think about decluttering your entire house and making every room in your home look, clean and organized and tidy. It can be pretty overwhelming, especially if you're starting with a lot of stuff. And so the idea is to find one area in your home that you can commit to keeping completely clear at all times. It could be your nightstand, it could be your dining room table. Just don't allow anything to pile on there at all. Keep it completely clear. And maybe set a deadline for that. Maybe say, I'm gonna keep this clear for a full week, and just kind of see how it feels. And when you see that area that is completely clear, it can kind of give you a little bit of inspiration for expanding the area. And so the nightstand, eventually you might expand it to your bed being clear, and then you might expand it to the floor surrounding your bed is clear, your dresser is clear. Before you know it, your entire bedroom is clear, and then you have a little sanctuary. So start small with one clear zone and kind of expand the area as you get a little bit more muscle memory built up with this minimalism mindset, and you'll be surprised how much peace it brings you just to have that one little area always being clear. All right, in closing out this video, I just want to say that minimalism isn't something that you one day achieve per se. You don't climb the mountain and eventually you get to the top and you are magically a minimalist. As I said at the beginning of this video, I believe that minimalism is a lifelong journey and it needs to evolve with you as your life changes. If you're a single person starting out as a minimalist, you're going to maybe need to do some pivoting if in 3 years you get married, and you might need to change things up again if you end up having kids. Life changes and you need to be willing to roll with the punches and change as it goes. Also with minimalism, you are the one that controls what minimalism means to you. You make the rules, you make the decisions. There are some people that decide to go really hardcore, I guess, minimalism, and they fit everything they own into a backpack, and others are just more careful about the items that they bring into their homes, and they want everything in their homes to be useful and something that they love and enjoy. And so it looks different for everybody. So your journey is your own journey. I would suggest, if you are a beginner to minimalism, to start a journal. And on page number 1, I want you to write down your why. What is the reason that you have for wanting a more simple, more minimal lifestyle? Is it because you're sick of stubbing your toe on all of the clutter that you have laying around your house, stepping on your kids' Legos? We all know how much that hurts. Maybe you're sick of working 70 hours a week to pay for things that you aren't even able to find the time to enjoy. Or you are tired of basically not being able to park your car in the garage. There's many different reasons why you might want a more simple life. Write those things down and get your thoughts in place. And then as you go on this journey, write down your feelings. Are you starting to feel less stressed out? Are you feeling more confident in your decision making? A lot is going to change in your life, and so I encourage you to start that journal and write in it as often as you can. The best thing about being a beginner at anything really is that you are excited and curious and passionate about what is to come. And so if that's you, jump into minimalism feet first and just give it your all, give it all that excitement, and you will go far. I am not gonna lie, some aspects of minimalism can be very challenging and a little bit stressful. If you are just starting out, give me a comment down below, and if you need help and guidance along the way, I'm here to be your mentor. I would love to chat with you about all of that. Thanks for watching today's video, everyone. I hope it was inspirational to you. I hope that it gave you a little bit of guidance if you're just starting out. And by all means, if you are a beginner at minimalism, try these 5 things. You are starting a journey today that is going to be life-altering, and I'm super excited for you. Thanks for watching today's video, and I hope you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.